Jon Lowe said that I'm the chicken man, and that may be true, but I'm really just a fanciest. In fact, the World Book Encyclopedia would classify me as a backyard enthusiast. But Jon Lowe is the real deal. He is highly credentialed in agriculture. He has a bachelor's degree in ag science with a concentration in animal science. He has a master's in animal nutrition. He has judged poultry competition at the local, state, and national levels. He was the coach of the judging team for Louisiana that came in first place and placed fourth in the nation. So he is the highly credentialed agricultural man. And because we're privileged to have him as a member of Rotary Club, he has agreed to give us a little egg demonstration. I give away eggs every week, but he's going to tell you a little bit about these eggs. I'm the hobbyist, but he's the real deal.
You talk about taking a turn for, I don't know whether better or worse, but anyhow, I was told one time that I could talk 30 minutes about the head of a pin. And I don't know whether that was a compliment or an insult, but Andy came up here bringing me this egg for me to give a dissertation about eggs. Before I talk about the egg, I'd first like to pay tribute to the hen. You know, a hen produces an egg just about every day. A large egg has to weigh 2 ounces. That's about what this is. Now you think about what that hen goes through to produce a yolk, the thick white, the thin white, and then a wrapper shell made out of calcium oxide. And think about it, to bake all of this in 24 hours. Sometimes they will lay 2 in the same day. Now that is a real go-getter. This egg is not just a ordinary kind of thing. You know, you break one open, you think, well, it's got a yolk and white. But it ain't in there. Like I said, you got thick white that surrounds the yolk, and then you got the white. It also has a membrane that holds all of this stuff together called the vitellin membrane. Now, I know you really wanted to know that. It also has some little rubbery things, if you look at it close, that are sort of like shock absorbers. They're little white-looking things that hold the yolk from jiggling around in the egg. And the eggs are classified or graded AA, A, B, C, and inedible. Of course, a C is getting on close to that. There are no such things, I don't think, anymore as C grade. Back in the old days, when chickens were running out all over the yard, this was before the backyard chickens. These were just yard chickens. They went wherever they went, and they laid eggs in the weeds and wherever they wanted to, and then somebody, 10 days later, they'd find 10, 12 eggs in the nest. They'd carry them to town, sell them. There was no such thing as canning of an egg to look at it, see about the quality. You knew about the quality when you broke it open. And if you were smart, you didn't break it open in the skillet or break it open into a cake that you were baking. You would break it out to see. But anyhow, an egg, the AA is the highest quality, and A is next. Now, eggs today are sold just as A grade because the AA is stays only a AA for a short period of time. Now, this egg has an air cell in the top. Now the top, well, I say the top, it depends on how you hold it, but anyhow, the big end of the egg has an air cell. And the reason the eggs are stored with the small end down is so the air cell will not change positions and mess up the yolk and the egg. And the egg, the first thing you look at grading an egg is the size of the air cell. A AA egg has to have an air cell 1/8 inch or less. Now you can't see that without a candle or with a light you hold it under. A grade A can have an air cell down to 1/4. And beyond that it moves into the next grade. The egg is the highest quality immediately after it's laid. it begins to deteriorate immediately. Now this egg is not just a closed-in deal, it actually breathes. Otherwise, you think about a baby chick being incubated in here, if it couldn't get oxygen, it wouldn't do too well. So this thing does have exchange of air, and the air cell, as it loses air, the air cell gets bigger and bigger. The white gets thinner, and the yolk gets flatter. You go to a restaurant, and I don't want to make anybody feel bad, but you go to a restaurant and you order a sunny side up or over easy egg. If the white covers the whole plate and the yolk is squatted down and wide, you're not getting a real fresh egg. Now they're edible, but they just ain't quite as fresh. A double A egg, you break it open, you got the thick white that surrounds the yolk, and then you got the thin white. But that thin white does not run all over creation. The way eggs are graded, back in the old days, they used to, individually took the egg and you twirled it under the light. Well, first thing you did, you looked at the air cell, then you twirled it under the light to see if the yolk would move. If the yolk moves, that indicates it does not have much thick white, and so that means it's downgraded. You also look for any kind of defects that the egg might have in it. So the eggs are, all the eggs you buy today are candled, and the only way you're going to find a bad egg is one that has somehow got pushed back and got some age on it. There's nothing wrong with the C-grade egg, it just don't look quite as good. And most of those used to be used in bacon. Matter of fact, one time hatcheries would candle eggs after 3 days, and those that did not show signs of embryonic development, they would be sold for consumption. Nothing wrong with them, they just, had a little time on them. But anyhow, a hen, like I said, lays an egg just about every day. And the average egg laying in this country is about 266 eggs per year. Now, a hen lays about 9 months, and then she takes a vacation, she takes a rest. Goes through what's called a molt. They shed their feathers, and then they have to grow a whole new crop of feathers, and when they get the new crop of feathers, they will start laying again. Back in the days when I grew up, chickens running all over the yard, you got a lot of eggs in the spring and summer, and not very many in the winter. I sold eggs in 1952, fall, for 75 cents a dozen. Now, if the price of eggs had gone up at the same rate as the national debt, they'd be about $42 a dozen. So, an egg is a bargain today, I guarantee you. Now, Andy, I don't know what all you wanted me to say. I probably said more than you really anticipated. But like I said, the head of a pin and the egg gives you a whole lot more than the head of a pin. But it's nice to be with you, and I want to stay.
We have a question in the audience, Dr. Lowe.
Got a question?
You know I'm going to ask.
Ma'am?
Which came first?
Which came first, chicken or the egg?
Well, that depends on your feelings about the creation.